Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from ABC News that's by the Associated Press. Now, this was published on December 5th. And it goes to show that the legacy media can't even try to hide the fact of what's going on here. And they're actually kind of reporting on what's going on. I gotta kind of give them credit for this, because they're not trying to go, oh, everything's hunky-dory and yeah. Or, oh, these people are just like, people who are clueless. Like they're just saying, hey, this is what's going on. So the latest, France's Macron scraps fuel tax after protests. Now, these has a couple updates here, and I had mentioned in another video that I did before this about how he had rolled the shit back and sent out someone to save his ass, because he figured they might have a guillotine around the corner and he might bum rush him and start the French Revolution 2.0, 2.0. The latest on mass protests in France, all local time. So, 8:55 p.m. local time, French President Emmanuel Macron has scrapped a fuel tax rise amid fears of new violence after weeks of nationwide protests and the worst rioting in Paris in decades. Yeah, because people are pissed, they're fed up. You have the left and right taking to the streets together. You have people that normally wouldn't take to the streets, okay? The average, French citizen, working class type, middle class. They got more important shit to worry about than taking to the streets in most cases. Unless it's something like in a situation where they're getting bent over and fucked and they can't afford it because wages have stagnated and, the economy is stagnated, and you tack on a big tax like Macron did, on fuel in the name of global warming, people are going to get pissed. And it's not because it's about global warming. It's because you've fucking put too much shit on their shoulders and they're done dealing with it. An official with the Elysee Palace told the Associated Press on Wednesday that the president decided to get rid of the tax. Philippi told lawmakers that the tax is now abandoned in the 2019 budget and that the government is ready for dialogue. Yeah, we'll pay you lip service, and when you're stupid enough to put your guard down and you think we're actually going to work with you, we're going to fuck you. That's what that translates to. The budget can be adjusted or renegotiated through the course of the year. Conveniently, after you quell the shit and get people to go back to their homes, we'll adjust it. We'll adjust it. Yeah, because you notice if it was if it was about negotiations, they would just say it could be renegotiated through the course of the year. 3 weeks of protests have left 4 people dead and were a massive challenge to Macron. That's an understatement. I mean, he was actually considering rolling out force, beyond the police, declaring martial law and busting skulls and shit. Good thing he didn't, because he probably would have seen the French Revolution 2.0. He probably would have seen it. So at 4:10 p.m. local time, one of the activists leading France's protest movement says that he fears more deaths if Saturday's demonstration goes ahead, and called for President Emmanuel Macron to speak out and bring calm. There's nothing he could say. This is what's fucked up. There was absolutely nothing he could have said then or could say now that would quell this shit, that would calm people down, that would make people go, well, wait a minute, I should just probably go back to my life and do my shit now that the tax is gone. Because this is about way more than the fucking tax. It truly is. It genuinely and truly is. But people don't get that. These idiots in the legacy media don't get it. Christophe Chalnasson said that if not, there will be chaos with risks of more death. No, there's going to be chaos regardless, Christophe. I'm sorry, Christophe, but that's the case. There will be. There's nothing you can say or do that's going to change that. God. Chalençon said in an interview Wednesday with the Associated Press that the grassroots movement triggered by fuel tax hikes has grown amid Macron's silence. Yes, but you see, the fuel tax hikes aren't the reason it was triggered. But you keep, I mean, even with him saying that, you keep trying to make it sound like that was the driving force that led to this. It didn't. It was just the straw that broke the camel's back. The final shovel of shit being dumped on the French citizenry. Four people have died since the protests began in November. Violent rampaging last Saturday devastated the French capital. Oh. These days, how the fuck can you tell that the yellow jackets devastated the French capital? I mean, these days it looks like a fucking shithole, all right? These days, because you get people pissing and shitting all over the place, it's disgusting. These days, because you have people with truck, that tend to hop in trucks and drive them in the name of peace, you have like all this shit going on, like with oh God, I don't want to call it fencing, but like glass wall around the Eiffel Tower and shit like that. Yeah. But yet, these people are the ones who fucked that fucked up the French capital. Okay. Chalençon, a 52-year-old blacksmith, said the public needed Macron to admit he made a mistake with simple words that touch the guts and heart of the French. No, they're beyond that point. See what Chalençon doesn't understand is, even though he was one of the people that brought this about, it's taking on a life of its own, and it's out of his hands. An apology wouldn't do shit at this point. They'd be like, hey, Macron, come on over here. Come over and do an apology. Okay? And then it would be like the beginning of the original Ghostbusters movie, not the remake, social justice remake. Where they're at the New York City Library and they're advancing on the ghost. They'd be like, come here, Macron. And they'd be slowly walking up to him. And then all of a sudden it'd be like, get him! And Macron ain't going to be going, roar! And like, he's scaring the shit out of him. They'd throw him on a plank, slide him in the guillotine, and probably lop his fucking head off at this point. Globalist shit pig that he is. He can't. I mean, I don't want to see anyone die, but with the shit that he's done against the French people, if he got convicted of treason and death just happened to be a part of that, you probably wouldn't hear me say anything that would be too outspoken against it. Oh, God. He just doesn't grasp it. Chalençon, I mean, he sounds like a good guy. Oh, excuse me, but it sounds like he's a bit out of touch here. He said the Prime Minister's announcement Tuesday of a freeze on the tax hikes had no resonance. Yes, because the people are beyond that shit. They've had too much piled on them. They're now saying enough is enough. They're not just going to fucking walk away because he pulled the fucking tax. See, he was stupid to think that would honestly work in his favor. It didn't. That's pretty fucking clear at this point. So now 11 a.m. local time. The concessions made by France's prime minister in a bid to stop the huge and violent anti-government demonstrations that have been rocking France over the past 2 weeks seem to have so far failed to convince protesters. You think? With trade unions and farmers now threatening to join the fray. Yes, the working class masses are joining this shit. This is the point I'm trying to make. This has gone too far. You have people who would not normally take to the streets taking to the streets. This is probably not going to end well for Macron. It probably won't. Because he's probably going to do his impersonation of Trudeau and just do something fucking stupid or say something stupid, and he's going to piss off these people even more than they already are. He really is. A day after Edouard Philippe announced a suspension of planned fuel tax hikes that kicked off protests. Wow, sorry. The Yellow Vest protest movement showed no sign of slowing down on Wednesday. Well, of course not. And they totally misread the situation in regards to the Yellow Vest. They thought, oh, this is all about, fuel tax. This is about carbon taxes. And they're now going, no. You stupid fucks. It had nothing to do with that. That was a contributing factor, but it's not why we're here. Because, the additional costs, it stockpiles, and you go, well, fuck me, I'm getting less and less of my money back because I'm having to pay out more and more. And yeah, that's kind of going on here when they're looking at these taxes. Students opposed to a university application system remain mobilized. Trucking unions called for a rolling strike, and France's largest farm union threatened to launch protests next week. Oh, poor Macron. I'm not laughing or taking pleasure from what's going on in regards to the people and the havoc it's wreaking in their lives. I'm laughing at how fucked Macron is. Because he really is fucked. Oh, God. He might get ass fucked while getting his head chopped off by a guillotine if they keep pulling this shit. Macron and his cronies in the government. Because the people have had enough. And when the Frenchman's had enough, and they're not surrendering, yeah, you've gone too fucking far. You really have. Wednesday. Sorry. Students opposed to a university application system. Yeah. All right. I already read that. But you got to love it. Students that were opposed. You got all these different people from different walks of life. It's beautiful. A joint statement from the CGT and FO trucking unions protesting a cut to overtime rates call for action from Sunday night. Well, you know what? Good thing for them. I mean, this is an example of where collective bargaining, like with the union, is beneficial. Unions have pretty much served their purpose in almost all capacities, because you can still collectively bargain without being part of a union. But you have the union here. You don't fuck with unions. All right. This whole idea that these people could collectively bargain, but in this situation, this is where, like I was saying, they are a benefit because they can use the leverage they have to royally go after and fuck with the French government and say, look, we'll join this shit, and we've got 10,000 members, and with how focused and driven the people are. This wouldn't be like, say, like, oh, yeah, we'll do that. We'll get people to come out, and there'd be like 30 people. They'd have a shit ton of people show up. And that's something that needs to be looked at and taken into account with this situation. If they say, well, you don't want to work with us, fuck you. Anyway, though, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.